Don't even. I had just pulled myself together, man. Like,
oh man. Hey, listen, community. I don't really know even how to. Look, check this out. If you're watching this, thank you for joining us for episode 2 with Trustee Miller, and this is gonna be the one. Y'all did y'all thing on episode 1 though, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all so much for getting us to where we needed to be, where we wanted to be, and y'all got us there. You know what I'm saying? We was, I think we were at like 1,100 views. We were at 1,100 views, and people, your comments throughout the week, we kind of switched some things up because you wanted to have more conversation.
absolutely.
And you wanted to get a little deeper. So we was like, oh, okay. Yeah, well, we switched some things up, and I definitely switched the questions up. Matter of fact, to the point where I had to just scratch what I thought I had, right? So we appreciate y'all, man. Thank you for sharing, and subscribing to Trust in the Process. The community itself has been growing. We on all social media platforms. If you haven't gotten over to Trust in the Process on the Facebook page, please like, share, and subscribe. Get over to the YouTube page. Thank you for growing that community. Instagram. And then just really being involved, because over here in Trust in the Process, we believe that your process gets you through your purpose, and your purposes get you to your assignment. Your assignment, you don't want to miss that mark because you connected to someone else. That's just what we believe over here. And so we brought on Trustee Tanisha Miller, that first episode.
That'd be me.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That first episode, what'd you think?
It was, I had never done anything like that before in that capacity, and it was exciting. I just want to thank the community for being interested to just listen and hear what the conversations that we're having and engaging the community with. Thank you for that. Thank you for coming up to me as we met in the not the streets. We met in the community.
Well, I guess you could say that was it, because it was. I think you were March.
Yeah.
Like we talked about, it was March, and it got to a point where it was just like, oh, this getting real.
Yeah.
And it was just like, in matter of fact, was it Trustee Gross? Who was it where I don't know who I reached out to, and I was like, I need to meet her.
Yeah,
like,
it was.
I need to talk to her. It was Trustee Gross. Okay, I need to meet her, need to talk to her. And it was like
big ups to him for making that connection.
Yeah, appreciate it. Big ups.
Yeah.
If you watching. But again, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Listen, if you drop your number in the comments, we're gonna call you.
Oh.
Today, I threw that surprise in there. I threw that in there because that was supposed to be on episode 3. We were gonna break in callers on episode 3, but it was just like folks was just like, hey man, I got some questions, right?
Let's get it.
So Dr. Courtney Graves is at a board meeting right now in Missouri. And so she said she was going to try to calling in after her board meeting, because there was some conversations that there was some specific things that she wanted to ask you, right?
Oh.
So, and it seems like both of you now are on a national level. She serves with CUBE, Council of Urban Boards of Education, and then now you're serving at NSBA Black Caucus. Tell me, I don't want to just leave that there, all right? So 10 months in, national seat, recognized, what does that mean for you?
It means that I have, and I'm pausing because I am so humbled.
Yeah.
I enjoy serving. But being in those rooms with people and having that platform, it's just another platform to learn more, to be able to produce more for for Pontiac community. It just gives me more of an avenue.
Man, listen. So we're gonna do something a little different. There are a few things that just happened. Yes, we had an election, so shout out for everybody who's newly elected. You know what I'm saying? Those who did not retain their seats, shout out to them for what you have done in the community, what you're going to continue to do. We look forward to seeing what your next ventures are going to be.
And I hope that for those that was not successful either in retaining their seats or being elected to a seat, I hope that their work doesn't stop. don't stop the work. A title, I told a man today that was not successful in running for getting his council seat. I told him, I said, the work doesn't stop. A title does not define your work in this community.
Yeah.
It doesn't at all. So I just hope that everyone involved continues to do the work because the community needs it. Our students, our kids, we all need to work collectively together, honestly.
And it's like this is a perfect example. Like right now.
Oh, wait. This is your show. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. Do your thing. Listen.
Well, I got
to
remind.
They told me you got to do some more talking.
Yeah.
I said, go ahead.
But you don't know where I'm going. Just like you surprised me, we're gonna be full of surprises.
Okay,
so
go ahead.
For our people listening, 100% of the time, I don't know what he about to say. He don't know what I'm about to say. So y'all get our true and authentic self. But let me say this and remind y'all this: pursuant to the social media policy, anything that I say in any capacity represent me as an individual, Tanisha Miller. It does not represent the Board of Education. It does not represent my colleagues or Pontiac School District or anything in between in any capacity. These are the thoughts, quotes, ideas from me. What button? This is a new button.
Listen, I put in some sound effects because I was watching the show. I go through the episodes, and we had a board meeting. You had a board meeting after that particular show, and I don't know if we're gonna really kind of deal in that right now because there's some announcements that we definitely need to make.
Let's get it.
And so and I want to get your input on these as well. So CNS is doing a turkey giveaway on November 22nd at 10 a.m. You see it on the screen, you guys. Go to the website. You see the phone number, 800-415-0411. If you want to receive a turkey for the holidays, you got to have a ticket and things of that nature. I look forward to you coming out, some of the other board trustees and just the PSD Phoenix Nation. They always show up.
Oh, good.
You know what I'm saying? They show up and, it's a great time. And it's going to be at the Pontiac substation right in front of City Hall. Okay? Another announcement that we had, and typically I really do these announcements at the end, but we're going to go ahead and get these out the way. Listen, Kano Phillips, shout out to him for the 4th annual Amazon Ascend Foundation giveaway. Is November 16th. I think it is November 16th. It's going to be at the OSHA Gymnasium right there on Cesar Chavez. Oh, yeah. They have over $2 million worth of items that they give away for free.
That just warms my heart because especially in a time like this with the uncertainty of people really afraid and to know if they're going to be able to feed their families. So services like this, CNS, the partnerships that we have for our community, is in need right now.
Listen, man, Kano is a graduate of Pontiac Northern. And so he is he has boots to, I don't even want to use that term. Please. But he has a pulse on the community that through his organization, the Ascend Foundation, this is the 4th annual, and partnering with Amazon and making sure that they're getting quality gifts. I'm talking about they give away Apple products, Adidas, Nikes. One year they had Jordans, tools, everything from the household. And you get so many tickets per your family, and you wait in line, and then you just make your way around a gymnasium, and it's amazing. And it's all the volunteers that kind of make that happen. Typically, me and Sadie show up, you know what I'm saying, and try to,
well, you're going to have some competition because me and Roscoe Perry Roosevelt.
Did you just say his full government name? Oh, my God. No, you Okay. Roscoe.
You seen him in his stroller as we went and exercised our right to vote yesterday.
Yeah, that is.
He voted.
Listen, I believe it. I believe that happened. I believe that happened. So, Ascend Foundation, November, Christmas in November, Day of Giving, and it was a Candace Cosby wish. And so we're grateful that we're going to be a part of that. And thank you, Kano Phillips, for making sure that this is happening for the Pontiac community again. So I don't. Again, we talked about the election. Results came in. Mike McGinnis is the mayor-elect now for the city of Pontiac. Previous council person. He's the current council president, right? So that should be interesting to in a succession to go from the council president now to the mayor of Pontiac. He was the president of the Pontiac School District. We have various council members. I think Chris Jackson is the new council person for District 1. And then District 2, Melanie Jones retained. She did retain her seat. District 3 was for write-ins, so we won't have those results for another week or so.
I'm about to ask you. I have no.
Oh yeah, about another week or so, because they got to hand count those. So we'll have those about a week or so. Of course, Kathleen James retained her seat, and William Carrington, President Pro Tem, retained his seat. Melanie Rutherford wasn't successful on this run, but I definitely want to say shout out to her for what she's been able to do over in District 1, all the things, legacy, I wouldn't even call them legacy projects, but things that needed to be done over there.
Absolutely.
Right?
And just shout out to Melanie
Yeah.
Shout out to her. Seriously. Yeah. I mean, from my heart, if she's watching, if not, I'll just send it to her. From one woman to another, thank you for what you've done in this community. I've met her like I've met everybody else. Everybody is new to me, but the consensus was that Melanie does the work. She's been doing the work for this community. So I hope that in her instance, that her work does not stop. I hope that this is not a deterrent.
Oh, I'm sure it won't.
I hope it won't be.
No, I'm sure it won't. District 6, we have District 6, Regina Campbell is the new elected person for District 6. And then Austin, Adrian Austin he's an at-large member now, right? So shout out to all of those individuals and things of that nature. And I just wanted to put these slides on the screen so people would have them and see them. I did put them out on the pages and share them and things of that nature. I think people know by now exactly what and what position that we're in as far as the city of Pontiac is concerned.
Can I interject?
No, go ahead. No, just talk. Look, you ain't got to ask me. Just go ahead.
I mean,
hey, listen. We here for four. Listen, we are here for 4. We got 2 more episodes.
Yeah.
And so
unless you kick me off, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I know we popped this off, you know what I'm saying, and where we at, but I need you to listen. I
just want to say congratulations to all those that were successful in their campaign. But to those that were not successful, big ups to you, because it takes a lot to put yourself.
Oh man, yeah. Yes.
It takes
for sure.
It takes courage to put yourself even in the spotlight, to be scrutinized, to be, judged. Everything that everyone, I'm not gonna say everyone, people that may have experienced. Big ups to you for even taking that leap of faith, because you believe in this community that much to even run for an elected position here in Pontiac. So big ups to you guys as well.
We got our first request. Sante said, add more episodes. Yes, sir. Okay. Listen, that's the good. Hey, listen, that's the good. Let me tell you something. Asante F&G Media, let me tell you, that's my guy.
Really?
That's my guy, man. And we would be up at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, like trying to work on these techniques, right? And so he said, dynamic duo, add more episodes. I'm gonna try to talk her into it. I gotta talk to her agent though. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got to talk to the agents. You know what I'm saying?
I'll give you my agent's phone number.
I got to make sure them numbers right. You know what I'm saying? We're in the podcast territory right now. I got to make sure them numbers right. So listen, you said something. You said thanking people for just putting their name out there.
Absolutely.
And we talked about that on episode 1, and you were like, hey, some friends had encouraged you, and that's you did, and you got here. And you came in swinging, and I'm not saying swinging as in, just wanting to be. You were very open-minded. You were very conscious of what was going on. For the newer elected officials, and this is why I said, and the name of this one was accountability and advocacy was this episode. And if you had to say something, because you're fresh, you're not even a year old. You're not even a
Still
year
a
old.
baby.
Oh, and that's a very scary thought. The fact that she's only she only a year. I'm gonna leave that alone. But the question is, what would you give to these newer elected officials? Like, what advice would you give them?
Well, I'm not the one. I'm just gonna tell you what I believe in, what has held me accountable, and what has made me very unapologetic and loyal to the community. Being in this, in this elected official seat now, I am experiencing things I've never experienced in my life. I'm meeting people that, though I've lived here for 13 years, I've never met in my life. So the last 11 months is completely brand new for me. But the one thing that has been consistent that other people don't know, because nobody took the opportunity, not very few people took the opportunity to get to know who Tanisha Miller is. What they don't know is I come in swinging on everything that I do. I come in because if I can't do it with my whole heart, I don't want to do it. So that's with everything. I'm talking about when I'm sewing quilts, when I'm fishing, when I'm on the football field with my son, when I'm at that board table, everything that I do it with my whole heart. So that would be my advice. Stay consistent and stay transparent with the community. Let me tell you something. It has been an interesting experience for me the last 11 months. It's been challenging because I have not been a politician before. I have always been honest and loyal and stood on my morals, but being a politician in a city that I don't know anyone, it was rough. And it really took me to a place where I thought about, like, I can't do this. But the reason I am still here, because it's a weight, it's a certain level of weight that people say, you know what? I want her to represent me. And if I didn't have that on my shoulders, like, and as a badge of pride, I don't know where I would be. But because I am loyal and the community is who put me here, I can't quit on them. I can't, I never will, and I can't.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Listen, there's a lot of things that kind of, a lot of indirect or some will say direct pressures that come with representing others because of, our community is very diverse. It's not just a Black community. It is not just predominantly we are, as far as percentages is concerned. But when you think culturally, like, I see a lot of mixing and mingling in various cultures in this community, right? And as a police officer, I don't get to choose who I help, who I assist, and I'm grateful that I had the opportunity before I became a police officer to work in the school district. I think that was meeting parents, meeting people where they are, so that when I got on the school board, no one can tell me about the school district. Like, I came from working inside the district. So, it wasn't I get to tell him who we are. I'm like, no, I worked here, and then school resource officer as a police officer. With you being very active on the football team, you're a photographer, right? So there was a need for photography services.
Yeah, it wasn't, I made a need.
Yeah. No, what I'm saying is, like, they had
no one was doing it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. There was a need for it. So you stepped right in.
I just said, hey, can I be out here? I want to do this for the kids for free.
Okay. Awesome.
And like I said before, I sat out there and nobody even knew that I was running for an elected official seat because I didn't want them to think that I was out there for a political advantage. Nobody knew that. This is my second year out there with them, and I don't even know how many of the kids even know that I am a trustee. They know that I'm Carlos's mom or Miss T or whatever. I can't tell you if any of them, maybe one or two, that knows that I am a board trustee.
Well, I think after this and a few more episodes, if we really get down into it, people are really going to know who and what you're about, and that's the part of trusting the process is what we're trying to get out. Because for me, it was what do you do with the time that you have when you're not at those board meetings, when you're not having to prepare for them? You know, there's hours of preparation that goes in before you even sitting at the board table. How do you prepare? Like, how do you get ready for, you know, when you get your board packet, like, how do you prepare? Because I think that's one of the newer things that elected officials would like to know. Like, how do you prepare for your board meeting?
Can I go back a few steps of how I prepared upon becoming coming into being a trustee? You had an advantage to where you knew the school system, you had experience with it. I didn't have any of that. So, but I didn't want to make a mistake because I'm accountable to the community. So the first thing I did was I started reading page after page after page, all the policies, the code of conducts, to understand what is expected of me, one, as a trustee, and what is expected of me as representing this district. You know what I'm saying? I had to read. I read for endless amounts of hours before I even stepped foot into a boardroom on January 13th. I was already reading.
Man,
I didn't know anything, you know, but I don't like to be ill prepared. So I didn't have a mentor or anything like that besides my friend that's on another school board in another district. But that's like comparing apples to oranges. That's a more rural and less diverse district. So we even when we swap stories now, we can't really. It's very different.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
For me, it was about the preparation. So when you go in there, you at least know the basics, you know. And preparing for the board meeting, I'm very meticulous. So I have my highlighter, different color highlighters. I have things printed out, notebooks, pages, because I like to take notes so I can know what's going on. I like to be very thorough. I like to be well informed. And I start preparing from the minute that we get our board packet, which is 3 days prior to the board meeting per policy. And I prepare all the way up until we sit down at the board table on Monday at 6 o'clock. I'm preparing up until the end. Because for me, I don't like to misspeak. Whatever I say, I want to make sure that it's factual and I can back it up with a policy, a state law, federal law. So, which takes the personal aspects out of it. It's nothing personal when something's in black and white. It's not my opinion. It's the facts. You feel me?
And I guess for me, it's and we'll, if you will, come back after we finish with your episodes, right? Because I really want to have a very deep dive conversation into the fact that how preparation is the key.
I came in at a disadvantage.
For new board, for new elected officials, period. Right? Like,
do you feel like,
do you feel like that if you didn't do that, you will be, not that you would, you know, we understand we understand your connection to the community and your passion about that. But if you didn't prepare the way that you prepared before you hit that board table, what you've seen in the last 10 months, do you think you've been ready to handle it? Would you handle anything differently?
I can't tell you if I would still be here, to be completely honest with you.
Gotcha.
I'm just used to different situations and environments to where usually my experience is people are receptive to who you are as an individual. They're willing and they want to help you and want to see you be successful. And that's my typical experience. So with this, for newly elected officials, don't make the mistake that I did and assume that it was going to be this welcoming party of here's everything for you to be set up for success. I'm not saying that didn't happen. I'm just saying that coming brand new, no political experience. I was a new parent to the Pontiac School District, so I knew nothing and nobody. Pontiac is very unique. Everybody knows everybody. They have a relationship with them in some capacity. I didn't have that to rely on. I didn't have a shoulder that I could say, can you help me with this, or can you help me understand or explain this to me? I had to figure it out on my own, and it gave me the strength to be able to go in there and be unapologetically me because I knew what was expected of me based upon policies, state laws, federal laws, and the expectations of a trustee.
If I guess we're here, so we'll stay here for a second, and we'll jump right into. You're on the policy committee.
I am.
How important is that for you?
It's vitally important because policy has framed who we are as a country. I think the first policy was, don't quote me, like 1777, I believe. And it was the article, don't quote me on that. I'll figure it out and I'll tell you the facts.
Gotcha.
But policies aren't anything new. Policies govern, and it's like a Bible almost to this is what is expected for you to do. This is how it should be done. Policies are non-negotiable. It is not it's not up for discussion. It's in black and white. So my role on the policy committee now is vitally important for me. Reading all the policies as a brand new board member, there are some gray areas that I would like to just strengthen the wording and the language a little bit and make sure that our policies are directly aligned with the state of Michigan, any changes with that, and any federal laws that have changed. But it's the gray. I don't like a gray area because it's left up it's left up for interpretation. And a policy cannot. If you read a policy one way and I read it something else, and you feel your way and I feel that my way, that's not a good policy. That's not an effective policy because it's supposed to say this, this, and this. And if you read it, I read it, or somebody else read it, we all read the exact same thing and we all understand.
Well, that's where I think having a good attorney comes into play when the board can't make that decision, and then you bring in an educational attorney who specializes in education law, and you will find out COSBA that we have, not COSBA, I'm sorry. It is the Council of Attorneys that we have, CASB, I'm sorry.
Okay.
So it's the Council of Attorneys of School Board Educators.
Okay.
So they are basically law firms and attorneys who, that's what they do. Educational law. And with your resources and reach and things of the nature now, you have that at your disposal.
Well, I didn't know that, to be honest, so thank you for that
Yeah,
information.
you'll have that. You know what I'm saying? Listen, you came up real fast. And it's not, let me see. I'm not gonna say come up real fast. I'm gonna say you earned what you have, right? And so there's gonna be some things that you don't know.
It's a lot, but I want to learn.
That's the key. That is the key. As long as that you want to learn. And so I still reach out to some. I still keep in contact with them because it's important to me to making sure that when you start talking about things on a national level and setting policy, and then we looking at the state of Michigan and where we sit on a national level as it relates to education, almost dead last. People talk about Pontiac so much, and it's just like, wait a minute, y'all missing the boat. But that's another episode for another day. However, it is important that when I'm sitting at the board table or when I'm not even at that table, that I'm still keeping myself abreast. I believe in policy and bylaws, right? Like that is because of the law, the oath that I took. And people don't understand this, is that as a police officer sitting as an elected official, it's a double whammy for me. I'm already in 2 strikes if I mess something up.
Oh.
Because my credentials are on the line. And so every time that I am speaking or any time that I am, affecting policy or I'm doing something or I'm doing an investigation or I'm called to do something, I have to do it twice. So I have to make sure that legally within the state of Michigan constitutional law, I'm not breaking the law, and that gray area that sometimes educational law give you, that I'm not overlooking as something that could be criminal.
Okay.
And so for me, it's that important. And so I've had several forensic audits complete. So I commend you for wanting a forensic audit. I think we need it in our district. However, that's not what the full board says at this particular point in time. And it's the power of the 4. And no one person can make a decision, right?
Can we pause right there?
Go ahead.
On audits. Let's.
Oh.
You ain't the only one full of surprises.
Oh.
This is public. It was presented. Am I?
Ooh.
I don't. What am I holding up? Okay, because I knew we were we were going to discuss.
Listen.
We were going to discuss audits.
Yes, we were going to discuss audits. We
Okay.
hear. Yes.
Let's. I asked you. Can we pause on that to say this? Transparency is imperative for the community, and whenever the idea of or discussion of a forensic audit is brought up, the biggest challenge from others is that we get audited every year. It's a requirement of the state of Michigan, which we do. So here it was presented on Monday, correct? You were there. It was presented on Monday. So here is our audit results. And it should be, things like this should be, come here, y'all, let me sit you down and let's talk and tell you what we've been doing from last year until this year. And here are the results. The auditor did present in the board meeting, but I sat there and I'm a board member, and half of the stuff I didn't even know what was going on because this is my first audit in this capacity, educational audit.
Yeah.
This is my first time doing it. And
Wait a minute. So that wasn't presented what has been the practice is that before we have a public meeting, board members, there's a finance committee meeting, and then those findings are presented to the, and it's an open meeting. I mean, it's just a special meeting, and typically it's done in board governance. And then you find they talk to you and present to you any questions that you may have, so you can take a deeper dive before you get into a board meeting, which typically is a 2-hour span. So you're not doing 6 hours, and then it gives the community an opportunity to say, okay, if you got any questions, 2 times, because they now know that you have this meeting, this special meeting where agenda is presented, and you say, okay, you know, you and your audit is going to be on there to speak about it in board governance, and then a second time is going to be presented at a full board meeting. So it still gives the transparency and the opportunity for any person in the community. So, I mean, you really are at a disadvantage if that was your first time. If that was your first time seeing that budget, and I'm a numbers guy,
well. Let me clarify, because I don't want people to persecute me. My first time seeing it was in our board packet.
3 days before the meeting.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So
that's still not enough time. That's still not enough time.
But let me clarify, because I don't want
I get
dissertation. I'm not on the finance committee, so I don't know if it was presented prior to Monday. I'm going to say that I received it in my board packets, and I heard the presenter for the first time on Monday. That is what my testimony, that is my truth. So I have the capacity to read and comprehend and understand. And the expectation, one of our board norms is no surprises, and for us to ask questions prior to the board meeting. And I am very consistent with abiding by that. But if I don't really know what I'm looking at, I don't know what to ask. And I'm just speaking about me. I know how to read numbers. I know how to read a document and a report. But it's things in there that all you have to do is tell me one time. If you explain it to me one time, I'm good. I'll get it for forever. I just wish I would have had that opportunity. So with that being said, I sit on the board and I had no idea what I was looking at personally. And how do we expect for our community to understand? Not saying that they don't, I'm saying I didn't. But it should be that open dialogue to say, well, let me tell you what page 1 through 4 is. This is basically what it's saying. Instead of just, being talked to. I need to be engaged in the conversation. But we did have a presenter, and she gave us our audit reports.
And y'all can go to Pontiac School District YouTube page if they want to see that, because I think the meeting was taped on YouTube, and it is there if you want to go check out that presentation, if you will. There's a question for you.
Yes.
Ms. Thomas, Tika Thomas.
Oh, Tika, she was on there last time.
So, yeah, she was. She says, why is the vote for a forensic audit always voted down. What's the issue with having one and shutting all speculation and ...
Ms. Thomas, thank you for tuning back in this week. There was one official vote that was put on the floor by Trustee Dooley to have a forensic audit. Trustee Dooley gave her rationale behind why she supported that. I gave my rationale behind why I supported it, and it went for a vote, and it was 4-3.
4-3.
It was 4-3. What she said? Why is it voted down? I can only tell you what has been said out loud by other trustees is that it is expensive, and that we get audited every year. But by the admission of the auditor that presented on Monday, they do not look for any. What did she say? They don't look for any fraudulent activity.
Yeah.
Because they're not licensed to do that, and that's not a part of the audit. So it again goes to, I'm gonna speak on my behalf. My concern is if a forensic audit hasn't been done in years, why not? What is the I don't understand what the issue is.
Well, I do want to say,
Okay.
Please, Dave Wilson, please explain the difference between a forensic audit and a yearly audit. You want to take that, or I take that?
I want to finish with Tika.
Okay, go ahead.
It is imperative that we know and can tell the community, here is a deep dive into what our finances look like with the turnover in the finance department, everything is public information. We don't know where we stand. The lack of presentation of financial budgets, okay? We need to know where we stand. Other trustees, and they're right, feel as if it could be very expensive and costly. My position is that it could be expensive and costly not to know where our money is going, okay? So the difference between, you want...
Well, we'll both take that one.
Right.
And it is, I mean, just from experience, I've done 3 of them. It's not expensive. We have it. We have at least well over 15% of a fund balance, right? So even let's just say, for instance, even if it cost us $150,000, the district just agreed to a $275,000 contract just last year on a consultant. That could have paid for the forensic audit. And then they paid for another 200-some thousand and a 17% raise to the superintendent. So if money is not an issue, then why give all those raises and have all those consultants? That's something that is a question for me. But I'm that's a rhetorical. So it's not.
No, but I want to respond to that.
I'm not looking for an answer from you per se.
Okay, but for the community.
Okay, so I mean, and again, for the community,
check the voting record.
And I often tell them to check the voting record, and I want people to be very clear on this. And I think I've had this discussion with you earlier. This is not something that what we're doing today has nothing to do with individuals, as it has everything to do with our responsibility. And I definitely feel it's my responsibility as the president and mayors of the Pontiac School District, and in the last 3.5 years, right? Like, well, not the last 3.5 years. That last year, I had nothing doing it. Let's make that very, very clear. As of June 26, 2024, that district ain't had nothing. Them decisions, what you saw, things that was happening, things that people are alluding to had nothing to do with me. You can check the record, go back on the YouTube pages, and then you can be very clear that I was just sitting on the sideline, humbled, right, in a very humble fashion, because I was fighting a false case at that particular point in time. So I had nothing to do with that. So with that being said, when there are statements out there there was just a statement released from your district, in your district to district employees and things of that nature, I had an opportunity to listen to it. I think it's very misleading, and I think it's very, in a point, it's manipulation. And it's manipulation because if people don't understand what you're talking about, and then you come behind, and that's the first thing you do is say, hey, we're transparent, we're this, we're that, but yet we got lawsuits where individuals are being fired improperly, like several people. You know what I mean? Like, but you haven't talked about the lawsuit. So you won't talk about certain things, but you'll talk about things that we want to sing this kumbaya. I'm not in a space. I didn't come to the district to sing kumbaya. I came to the district so my kids could be educated, because every year when I got there, kids have to take remedial classes when they go to college. Some survive, some don't. Then they come back home. Here's the double-edged sword for me. I got to see him as a police officer.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of times it's in very, very bad situations. And then I sit back and think, what could I have done differently? But the way that the law is set up, it takes 4 people to make decisions for the district. And if you have four people who, let's just say their priorities are not your priorities, people keep saying, well, Gil, when you was there, why didn't you change this? I can advocate. I can speak out. I know I'm gonna get a no vote. I can say some things, but at a certain point in time, I clearly got to understand that I had to get with the right teammates. And so me clearly understanding why I'm always going back to the school board is because I want to be on a good team. And so I see you and Dooley working in a fashion where it aligns with the priorities of making sure kids leave very successful and with the tools that they need.
And that's all that I want. Again,
so
obviously
there's
I
a
got a
lot
kid
in that.
here, you know?
Right. So
You know what I'm saying?
there was a lot in that. So Dave Wilson, we're going to get to that, but there was a lot. There was a lot in that, and you wanted to before I alluded to the mob. I had nothing to do after that. You know, that leadership's not one thing.
Where I was going, I had a statement, and before I just looked
because I just
away.
wanted to be. Listen, man. We are in Pontiac. I have a national reputation. I have a state reputation. I work with districts across the country. Just in a couple more weeks, I've been allowed to assist superintendents in teaching in those cohorts with new superintendents and veteran superintendents in the last 4.5 years. So my experiences in itself is bigger than just Pontiac, Michigan, right? Like in that self, but Pontiac got me there.
Absolutely. And
you know what I'm saying?
always
With all due respect, right?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So you've been out there, you see, I'm a rep Pontiac to the end, right? But what I don't want to happen is, and I did put out a statement and you've seen it, that I'm speaking out. Now I feel free enough to speak out because legally I have attorneys now that has fact checked, went through and said, okay, if you want to carry on with the defamation lawsuit, you can now. If you want to move forward, yes.
Pause.
That's what that's about. that's in all fairness, that is what that is about.
Let me pause. Let me just clarify. We have our own. I don't want to say relationship because that sounds like what would you say?
I mean, it's listen, it wasn't until I heard you say some things open in public as it relates that, hold on, y'all keep blaming, this was on live, this is on the YouTube, this is on and you was like, y'all keep blaming the past president and keep saying it's his fault, and you just made it plain. And it was the first time I was like, and so I was, that's what made me say, okay, now wait a minute. You can get blackballed. You can get, you know what I'm saying? There's some lot, they did, you saw what they, you know what I'm saying? So,
I gotta interject. I gotta interject. For the community, let me make, because I heard this too. Yes, Gil and I have worked together in a capacity like this, but we are still very individual people. So whatever comes out of my mouth, 100% of the time, Gil don't know. And what comes out of his mouth,
man,
I don't know. Let me be very clear. I don't know, and I don't need to know. We are individuals. When we collaborate. But so you have the right to say whatever you want and put out whatever statement you want, and so do I. So people need to stop merging the two. Like, we can be individuals and still can collaborate and do what's best for the district and for our children. I'm just saying that.
But if I may be frank.
Yes.
People do it to make an excuse for themselves for what they do, right? They have to create a villain in their story, and they have to create something to be like, oh, well, it has to be them. And it's a very narcissistic behavior, right? So when you understand and you get it, like, I understand it. but it's not right, right? It's not right that people get to villainize and get to be able to be like, oh, say whatever you want to say about a person and blame. Like, you could try to blame me for every single thing you did, every single thing you did, but it still reports back to the law, and policy and bylaws and what district, what is said. So it's documented. And I just happen to be somebody who've been in the district since I was 19 years old. So working in the district, serving in the district, and then governing the district puts me at an advantage and a disadvantage to a hater, or a disadvantage to somebody who wants something for a different reason.
Can I interject? I got to interject because I'll forget. You have that experience on so many different levels, but for those of us like myself that don't have that experience but still has the same level of compassion and driven in the same way or similar way as you with the experience, that doesn't mean because I haven't been here, haven't been in the district, I wasn't born here, that doesn't mean I'm not qualified to advocate and do what's best for every single one of our students, our staff, the community, and everybody. Do not discount me because I wasn't born and raised here. That has nothing to do with that.
You know what? And I was going to listen. We're probably going to go over a little bit, if you don't mind.
Said we was.
I know. But listen.
Jesus Christ.
I got it.
It's your fault this time.
Well, it is, and you really kind of hitting on some things, and there were some things around some questions that
you got to tell them about the forensic and the yearly.
I am. We're going to get to that.
I don't want our listeners to get mad at us.
I'm sorry, David. So the difference, Mr. Wilson, the difference between the forensic audit, and this is what he had to say. He said, please explain the difference between a forensic and a yearly audit. So a yearly audit is done by yo. It's done by an auditing firm to make sure that how you're keeping your books is correct. Because the state of Michigan has from grant funding to general funds. General funds are, and I'm gonna speak real plain to you, right? So I don't want to get into the whole CPA kind of talking and that whole thing. Basically, making sure that your money right, making sure that how your money is coming into the house, that is being spent correctly, right? So that's all that they check for. If you saying that you at the end of the year you're going to get $100 million, Gil, you know better than that, Mr. Wilson. if you got $100,000 for this grant, and the state of Michigan said that this grant has to be spent, or is it being spent at this particular point in time? That's all they check for.
Can I say something?
Okay.
I'm sorry. That's why I asked for raise my hand.
No, I'm just saying. Go ahead.
According to our auditor, the auditor's responsibility is to express opinions on the financial statements based on our audit. We conducted our audit in accordance with auditing standards generally accepted in the United States of America and the standards I can never say that word, applicable, that word, to financial audits contained in government auditing standards issued by the comptroller. What was that?
Yeah.
Journal of the United States. So that is the statement. And here's the procedures: understanding internal controls, review of policies and procedures, risk assessment of substantial procedures, analytical procedures, pension plan testing, unpredictability, government auditing standards, grant compliance testings, other compliance testings, financial statement preparation, and data collection form, and MDE, ISD, Michigan Department of Education, ISD, FAC submission. That is from our auditor. So that is what.
But I just wanted to give them a because most people, again,
I know.
So they're not going to read it. Some people will.
Yeah.
I just wanted to give him just the difference. But a forensic audit says, okay, you got the $100,000. Okay, you spent $100,000, but out of the $100,000, $80,000 went to Gil Garrett. A forensic audit is going to go a little bit deeper and says, okay, Gil Garrett is the owner of I don't know, just use me for an example. That's all I always do. Trust in the process. So trust in the process came in, they did some wiring of a building. I'm the owner. The $180,000 went to me, but the job only cost $30,000. A forensic audit is going to follow where the money came to, and then where it went back to, where the other money went, just to be just as basic as possible. So out of $80,000, I got 30. Well, who got the 50? So that's what the forensic audit does versus the yearly audit. So when somebody quotes and says, when somebody jumps out on a video and they say, oh yeah, we have an audit. No, you didn't. You didn't have a forensic audit. You didn't audit your books. Oh, everything is fine. You don't know that because you haven't had a CPA or you haven't had a CFO in that office in 9 months. And so it wasn't that it was a job you going to look for somebody, yeah, you are going to look for some person, but why did the person leave? So that's the job of a board to govern, to figure out, okay, why did that CFO? Why did you go through 3 CFOs in 1 year?
I only been here 11 months.
I'm just saying, in 11 months. So that's what I mean. Yeah. So with that being said, David, that's pretty much the difference between that two. And for me, those are the type of questions, or those are the type of answers or response. That's the responsibility of the board. It is. And for Public Act 451 gives us that legislative power and executive power to change in a regular board meeting, a governing board meeting, to change or shift or pivot when we need to. And that's what I mean by the power of the 4 and just having a team, a new team.
And I just want to clarify, because back to Ms. Thomas, the unfortunate part of being on the board is it may make sense to me, it may make sense to Gil, it may make sense to another person. Yes, do I believe that accountability and a thorough look through our books could be beneficial to this district? Yes, I do believe that. But unless I have 3 other people, which equals 4 people, to believe that, there's nothing I can do to move that forward as a board member.
Correct.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So many of my colleagues may say, we have an audit, which factually is correct. Yeah. We do have an audit yearly.
But that statement is misleading. In the legal, in what we call that in legalese language, that's a misleading statement.
Okay.
Because a person is asking deeper than what you're telling them, but you're only specifically, which is manipulation, telling them what they want to hear in key point and key words, which is audit.
And that's what I was alluding to, is that yes, as required by law, we have an audit yearly. That's why when people ask about why don't y'all get an audit, and my colleagues say we have an audit, factually that's correct. That's why I make sure I utilize the term, if I speak about it, forensic audit. Because the audit, yes, we are compliant with that, but the forensic audit is what has to be voted on by the board in order to pass and move forward.
Yes. Yep. And then even with that yearly audit, like with Yo and Yo, often if somebody is doing your auditing for years, like multiple years, such as they've been there, you want to go to another auditing firm, like to bring them in year 4 or year 3, to kind of switch back, because they can be so used, it's cookie cutter. And so when when an auditor comes in and they make statements at the podium and they say, I've talked to your finance department, right? And you like, what? I thought we didn't have one. Like we have the finance department that we have is a firm that we just hired less than 60 days ago.
I think we hired. I could pull it up, but they are a newer firm that was brought in to fill that position for our CFO that we no longer have. Yeah. So I have not had a. The firm presents. The firm has begun presenting.
I mean, you don't have to listen. I'm gonna tell you. Look, it's not rocket science. Like, it ain't. So the budget, that firm just started presenting to the board.
That's correct.
It was an email that was sent to myself when I was on the board that they were canceling the finance committees. They were canceling finance committee. At one point, we were getting budgets that spoke to statements. Like, we knew who were getting checks.
Okay.
When they brought in that other consultant, I think it was like June or July of last year, they brought that consultant in. They immediately cut that.
Okay.
And said it was a email sent from board leadership that immediately cut that and said, you can't get that. And I was just like, well, how do you arbitrarily have and that's that gray area. How do you arbitrarily have the right to cancel committees? And you don't, because once the board votes on them, the board has to vote to not have them. And so those are some of the things that, you go to the attorney general with. Those are some of the things that when you present the case as a regular citizen, those are the type of the language or the type of things that you go to presenting your case to the prosecutor's office and saying, my school district is operating in this fashion. And so I would like somebody to go in and basically either, tell them what they're doing wrong or, what is our next steps? So that's something that I've done. So it's not rocket science to know that because you can follow it, right? Like somebody comes in and says, oh, I'm only going to give you the budget from July to August. Well, we in November. When less than a year, you were getting them every month. So they even have to go in and kind of do their due diligence as a firm should go in and say, okay, what does this look like? How does this, what do I have going on? So if it's not presented, and typically that's what committees are for. And so all those committees were dissolved by the current board leadership.
And see, I am on the policy committee, so that's the only committee that I can speak on. But can we try out the call feature? I would be remiss if we didn't make a phone call to somebody that I'm sure would love to speak about this. Can we call?
Well, not right. I mean,
It's Jennifer.
She want to talk? Or you want me to call on my phone?
I want her to be on the thing.
Oh.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not right now.
Okay.
Give it. If she just text, Dooley, if you watching, give us 2 seconds because I got 2 questions that I got to ask her. You know what I'm saying? I can't let her off the hook just yet. I got 2 questions that I got to ask her when it comes down to this. Here's the first one. How do you handle criticism and pushback as a leader?
I strive for constructive criticism as a person. As a leader, criticism makes me a better leader. It makes the people that I'm leading or whomever, it makes us stronger. Because until you have a conversation about what's going wrong, how can you improve to do what's right? How can any improvements be made if you're not having those hard conversations? And you said the criticism as a leader. What was the other part?
How do you handle criticism and pushback as a leader? I think you pretty much that. You talked about what does accountability mean to you personally? I mean, you spoke about that. Have you had to speak up when it wasn't popular, and how did you handle that?
Is that a real question?
Yeah.
Have you not seen? You just sat here and
no. Listen.
Look, have you not seen me on the board? No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Listen, I'm joking.
Listen.
Hey, I'm gonna get these questions out. I want y'all to come back for episode 3. I'm trying to get these questions out of here.
Yes, I quite often speak up when it's not favorable, but that's whoever is not comfortable with what I'm speaking about. Did I lie though? Am I accurate? Did I misrepresent something? And again, it goes back to my accountability to the community. People may not like the fact that I am adversary at times, but I have to be, because until we start talking about how to move this district forward for our students, and we just continue to put a mask on that everything is okay, I am going to be unfavorable. My discussions are going to be unfavorable, but I have to account for whatever I say to the community.
Okay, but again, seeking accountability, is it adversarial?
First of all,
I don't think it's adversarial for you. I'm not. You may feel that way.
No, I don't feel that way.
But okay, so
No.
Again, I don't think it's not because my money, My tax dollars, when I'm not sitting on the board, when I'm not governing any of this, when I'm just, I get taxed a lot, right? I get taxed a lot. This is kind of a leisure kind of show. You're going to put your elbow on the table, put your elbow, whatever you're going to do. Look, I'm just simply saying, I get taxed. That's my money. I get to speak up for that. I have a right. Even if somebody doesn't feel like I do. And they can't
feel that way.
They can feel that way because it's arrogance. They can feel that way. People have a right to feel how they want to feel.
But that doesn't constitute what your right is.
Listen, you have a right to your opinion. It doesn't make it my promise. You have a right to your opinion. Doesn't make it my promise. And so I've learned to be patient in time and to do things differently because I represent a lot of people. But I choose to represent a lot of people. But people only follow me because I proved I could be trusted. I'm not a leader. I'm not a self-proclaimed leader. I don't say I'm the most decorated elected official in the city of Pontiac. I have the hardware. Somebody gave those things to me. So I say it, begrudgingly sometimes, but I say it now so that it's clear that when I'm talking with substance, not just talking just to be talking. Like it's hours at a time. It's hours at a time. Ms. Thomas says, is it adversarial to people who have something to hide? Which that was actually, I want you to see that. Is it adversarial to people who have something to hide? Which I believe that it is. And so that's my question. Okay. Ms. Thomas, you beat me to it. I appreciate it. That was my question to you. If they have something to hide, then they would take your line of questioning to be very adversarial because it's going against what they want, the narrative that they want to push. And you're not receiving it.
I want to go back to one thing that you said about people are entitled to their opinion. But opinion does not super exceed fact and rights. Your rights. So that is the issue for me, is that you can have your opinion. That's okay. But your opinion does not dictate policy. It does not dictate my rights.
Correct.
It does not dictate transparency.
Correct.
It is just an opinion. It's like ears, and we all got them. I almost said something. Opinions like a.
You're very cautious right now.
Yeah, I mean, because you know what I mean.
No, it's cool. Listen. I had no problem with that.
I'm not being. I am not sitting here trying to sugarcoat anything.
No, you're not.
I'm just I want the people to understand that, yes, this is what is said, and they have the right to say that, but here is what the fact is versus what an opinion is.
Yes.
And I just want to clarify that an opinion is an opinion. It does not super exceed fact. You cannot use your opinion to push a policy. You can't use your opinion to enforce a law. That is an opinion. That's all it is. When it comes to, you made me lose my train of thought. Something to hide. I am very transparent, very much transparent. You could ask me what you want. I'm an open book. So for me, if somebody asked me that or asked me to clarify or to any request of me, I'm going to do it, or I'm going to say, this is why I can't. I can only speak for myself that I am an open book. It could appear that if you're so resistant on knowing where we are, with a fine tooth comb, it could be perceived that why not? Like why wouldn't you want to know that? And that's been my question. That's been Trustee Dooley's question. Why wouldn't we want to know where we stand? Bottom line, financially.
You know what? Since it was her, it was Dooley, and she did say why. It was Trustee Dooley. She did say when she went to one of the conferences, it was very clear to her what needed to take place, and she knew right away that it was supposed to be. She wanted a forensic audit, right? And so let's see if we can get her on the line.
Wow, we.
Oh, there it
It's
is.
ringing. So,
There it is.
Oh,
hello.
yeah.
Hey, Trustee Dooley, how you doing this evening?
I couldn't find y'all on the thing.
Okay, you live right now. I'm just gonna tell you right now, you live.
Jesus Christ.
So, listen, it was on the Facebook page, and we appreciate you really kind of picking up for us because we're in the middle of this conversation between finances, right?
Okay.
And so we were at everybody. You were at the meeting, and I was at the meeting. It was y'all board meeting, and you asked for a forensic audit, and we had a couple people on the show who talked about audits and things of that nature. So I wanted to call you up and ask you, what made you, with less than a year on, decide to say, hey, I think we need a forensic audit. We do have an audit, but we need a forensic audit. What was that about?
So when I had an opportunity to go to the CUBE conference, I listened to a woman, I want to say from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and she talked about if there were red flags in your mind, don't be hesitant to make questions. Well, logically speaking, I use this rationale.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to inherit your family's business, and if I told you the books had, let's just for the sake of numbers, $100,000, should I just take your word or would I want proof? In addition to that, there have been a couple of things that I questioned that did not make logical sense economically.
Mm.
So, and then you have a situation where you have teachers with no contracts, and then the top administrative portion, they are heavy. So let's realign our resources. But how can I know what we have if we don't start, but yet we're still spending? And I refute the argument that it costs too much. And let me back up.
Mm-hmm.
We employed a consultant that was paid $1,500 a day that they worked. They worked an average of 4 days a week, to my understanding. And so when you do the figures, for one person to get almost $18,000 or more a month, that's a red flag.
Mm.
So it's quite a few different things that I don't know if I can say, but the logic eludes me that you would not want to have a tab to know what you have, especially in light of the economic times and the cuts. We need to know where we are. And by the board's own admission, prior to me getting on the board, you had board members that stated there had not been a forensic audit in over 13 years. Logic dictates that. Also, I probably have the name wrong. Yo and yo, yin and yo,
Yo and
whatever.
yo, yo and yo.
Yo and yo,
You say yin and yo.
yo and yo. If you have the same company performing the same audits for over 10 years, that's a red flag. After 5 years, it should be changed. Why? Because things could be compromised.
So I told
So
you to call
why
a
would
while
you
ago.
not want a new set of eyes on the books? And then just recently
You
at
don't
the
listen to
Monday
me.
meeting, the auditor stated, oh, this is not an audit performed where we look for inconsistencies, fraud, or anything. And that's a red flag in itself. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm going to push for a forensic audit because logic dictates this is a multi-million dollar corporation and we need to know what's in there. We need to know if there has been any mismanagement. I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but I have a problem when My board members don't want to know what I want to know. What's in the till? What's in your coffers? Where are we? And another reason I really want to do it, we could realign our payments or resources for our teachers, because the crux of making our educational systems great again is our teachers cannot be concerned about their own home life, how they're going to pay their bills and deliver quality instruction. So let's realign these resources. What kind of raises can we do? How many more paras can we provide? Can we give a person, each teacher, a teacher aide in the room? It's just a lot of things. Let's look at the books. Let's look at the delivery of instruction is the bottom line. All roads lead to academic achievement, and we must align our resources. What better way to do that and start without having an audit?
Forensic audit.
A forensic audit, an investigative forensic audit. I'm not implying any wrongdoing per se, but chances are it's making me wonder, based on that class that I took at the CUBE conference, why not?
So let me ask you this, and you said at the CUBE conference, and the lady was from Oklahoma, and I'll be very clear when I say the fact that having to compare yourself with another urban district is apples to apples, and when someone says that a forensic audit, and let's be clear, because and just full transparency, I was the one that conducted the last one 13 years ago. So,
Really?
Right. So every forensic audit or audit outside of Yo and Yo or a normal audit came out of my leadership when I was president, previous and president now, and president before.
I was unaware of that. I didn't know that.
So, very clear to what you're asking is these red flags would yield to what your request is.
And her name is Dr. Janetta Marshall.
Okay, yeah. And she was out of Oklahoma.
I want to say Tulsa. I don't have my
Tulsa,
glasses
yeah.
on.
Okay, because I think that's Dr. Holmes' district. She's in CUBE, Council of Urban. Dr. Holmes is secretary.
I
of CUBE.
have her actual business card in my hand. Her name is Dr. Janetta Marshall. She says she joined a board, and she began to question certain things. And as she continued to question, she found out the nepotism in the system. And quite frankly, we probably have that because a lot of people have different last names, but yet they're family. So it's just red flags. And if there's nothing going on, there's what I guess at the bottom line, I just want to know, what do we have in our funds? How can we realign our resources to improve teacher pay, create recruitment programs to get better teachers, or not even better teachers, more teachers to fill the vacancies, and just realign. So that's where I am. I'm going to continue to push for a audit until I get one.
Okay.
And the other thing is, the board presentations are supposed to be audits, or we haven't had any time to sit and I ask questions for budget review. They don't exist. And I've been in the union, and on that business side, it would take us 2 days to have an audit because they would go line by line by line. I'm talking about from like 8 to 5 p.m. daily, where we went through. And this has not occurred. So what are they hiding? At this point, it makes me suspicious. And Dr. Marshall encouraged me, if you have concerns, that's a right of mine. If anybody would want to know, what are we working with so we can improve the lives of our teachers and get past this?
Well, awesome. And well, listen, Trustee Dooley, thank you for taking our phone call. We're going to get back to our line of questioning over here with your partner. We'll love to have you on the show. You've actually a retired teacher from the district. You've also been a teacher over 30 years, I believe.
Yes.
And this curriculum space, I watched the last board meeting, and I heard your frustration, and we want to talk to you about just curriculum and what can Pontiac School District do? Because you are expert. You've been in the classroom, you retired, now you're in the governing side. You have the ability and the knowledge that we need. What can we do, or what kind of sense of direction we can set to making sure that our kids are successful and take advantage of all the opportunities that we have before them?
One of the things that comes to mind, because we have so many subs in the bill, if we will, or professionals have switched over to teaching.
Mm-hmm.
When we look at the pedagogical implications of teaching,
Mm-hmm.
we all think we can do it. And we're trained to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the first things I would want to do is to be deliberate and intentional with the training of those persons filling those vacancies, because they need to know goal and objective. What's your intent? You have to be intentional in teaching skills. Do you understand the data? So I believe even some of those principals need to be trained. The other thing I want to do on our curriculum side is begin to develop our own. You want to know why so many the districts that are successful because they groom their own. Yeah, they open it up to other people, but if you check the records, they hire within. And we have not done that. Pontiac lost a lot of good teachers, and you brought others in. They came in, and I'm going to say it, they raped the district. They got their doctors. Where are they? They're gone.
Okay.
And
okay. Hold on. We gonna have to. Whew. Listen, ma'am.
See, I get. And
I know.
I'm not
I
angry.
see. No, I know. I know.
Passionate.
I don't think it's anger. That's why we want to see you visually come on the show, and maybe you can share some time in her fourth episode, because we talk about policy, we talk about curriculum in the fourth episode, and we'll get you the date and the time. But we want to thank you again for joining us, and we appreciate you. We'll give you a round of applause. And listen, I need you to keep that fire and keep that passion, because our kids deserve it. And I'm grateful that now you're on the governing side. There's a 1-2 punch of making sure our finances is together, and then we have a professional there with fresh eyes to help us get our curriculum.
And one more thing, if I will.
Okay.
We have to begin to truly vet these people coming in, because I'm receiving information about people and if they wouldn't get hired anywhere else, and we take the rubbish. I'm gonna keep that nice.
Okay.
So it's quite a few. Yeah, I got something.
Okay. But I got you. So listen, we'll keep tuning in. We appreciate you, and we'll definitely keep in contact. And thanks for taking the call.
Thank you.
All right, you have a good night.
Bye.
Hey, listen. Look. So let me tell you. Let me, because some people can. Let me be very clear right now. When you work in the district, and then you come to this governance side, it's very hard for people to pull the wool over your eyes. And when you now take the responsibility of the lives, when you handing them kids that diploma, and you know they set up for failure because of decisions, the lack of decisions that were made, you get that kind of intensity. And so I take nothing. Matter of fact, I'm dating myself. I worked with Dooley.
You're dating.
She was one of my favorite teachers who were over some of my kids who they said wouldn't graduate, right, at Pontiac Central. And so when I tell you, you don't have to be born and raised here. You just gotta love here.
And you gotta love our kids.
That's it. You just gotta love. You just gotta love here. You don't have to be born and raised here. Let's. I know we're out of time, and we went way over where we were supposed to be.
Well, if you
But go
wouldn't,
ahead.
if we started off late because it was your fault.
Oh, really? That's what we're doing? Oh my. Oh, okay. Talk about. So I'm gonna move on to my fault.
I choose a safe color like orange because orange ain't the color that normal people wear.
We're not doing it.
All right.
Listen, orange has become one of my favorite colors.
Well, that's obviously. I came to the door and I said,
Right. So, I'm a photographer. So we're in a beautiful Strand theater here. So if you haven't had an opportunity to go to the Strand website, please, I need you to go to do so. As well, to get you some tickets, we got the Black Violinist.
oh,
Is coming November 13th. There's a show here November 7th, but November 13th. These violinists, the violin, is a beautiful instrument all by itself, just hearing it. But they do a little something different. These jokers do something a little different on it. So if you get an opportunity, go to the Strand Theater website and check that out. Listen, I appreciate you, man. I do. I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate you having the passion and the wherewithal and hang in there. And then know that is something bigger than yourself.
and it
Right.
is. And until we start to really come to the table
Yeah.
and have really hard, uncomfortable conversations,
Yeah.
we're not going to put ourselves in a position to move this district forward for our students. It's not about me. It's not about Mr. Garrett over here. It is 100% about our students. They deserve better. They deserve to be aligned and can be able to compete with our neighboring districts academically, athletically. It shouldn't be a hand-me-down type of service.
See,
Because we're an urban district. So that's where my passion comes from.
Okay.
I don't have the historical data. That's why I tap into Ms. Dooley, because I don't want to mess it up. She can tell you historically how things are done, and she has that background experience of being an educator. I just look and I know 1 + 1 is always going to be 2. Our kids deserve better. We have to start coming to the table. Whether you like me, whether you don't, whether you have an opinion about me or don't like what I said, who cares? Our kids need us to come together and make better decisions for them to move this district forward. It's not a room for opinions.
Awesome. Listen, I appreciate it, man. Listen, thank y'all, man. Next week, we'll be here on episode 3. Keep the comments coming. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because I tell you, you are building us up. It's been an amazing. This is going to be one for the books. Dooley, thank you for calling in. David, Mr. Wilson, thank you. Mr. McFadden was there. Ms. Thomas, Asante, Mr. Bias tuned in. Thank y'all so much, man. God bless you, man. We are out.
We'll see y'all next
of here.
week.
We'll see y'all next week for sure.
That was fun.